Sometimes in boating, you just need to slow down, calm down, analyze the situation, and figure out what your next move is.
Or let's just idle for a second, everybody calm down. Let's idle. How about that? So that boat that just went past.
This really is solid advice that every boater should take to heart. Anytime you're in a situation in boating and things start to go a little wrong, one of the first things boaters like to do is go ahead and try and rush to rectify the situation, when the reality is you probably should stop, take a pause, take a breath, and try and analyze what to do next.
This is the best one yet. This guy yelled at somebody that they were in his way, and he has done this at least 10 times. We're waiting for it to fall off. It's gotta fall off. Your pontoon's gonna fall off! You know, you're not even on your trailer.
Now, there are many different reasons you could be rushed in boating, but one thing's for sure, if you wind up getting out there and rushing around and not paying attention and following your procedures, sometimes those results can definitely be catastrophic. Now, they won't always be catastrophic. Many times you're going to make small mistakes when you're out there in your boating life, and they're going to have small failures, but you're always going to feel the same way. Had I just took my time and took a few minutes to take a look and think about it, I probably wouldn't have had that problem.
So you can see that, you know, it probably, you don't think it loosens it up, but it does. And there it pops off. Ideally, we did not want that prop to fall off onto the crown. But, you know, this is a good lesson for everyone. Maybe you want to put a piece of carpet or something like that would make this a little bit easier to.
It's always tough when those easy solutions are an afterthought because you didn't take your time up front to make sure you hit the right solution the first time. And sometimes those solutions will be quite obvious, such as making sure you have the right tool for the job. Most of the time when I see mistakes made where people are using the wrong objects in their boating lifestyle, they absolutely knew they were using the wrong object, but unfortunately it comes back to that rush factor many times again, thinking, well, I just want to go out there and boat now. I'm not going to wait till I have the correct vehicle or the correct trailer. It's boating time and we are going to get out there and just get the job done. Again, just showing you that if you get out there and try and rush things before you're really ready to do the job, it's going to have failure written all over it before your boating day even gets started.
Doot, doot, doot. Doot, 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 doot. There's a channel over there. Doot, 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 doot. There's our net in the mud. Doot, doot, doot. Doot, 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 doot. And there's a channel over there. Boneheaded Boaters. Hey, not all channels or sandbars are on the chart, just so you know. Thanks, BG.
Another one of those things people will rush sometimes is the whole chart issue. Many times people don't want to spend hundreds of dollars to get the most up-to-date charts, and of course things change, and if you don't have the correct charts, just like our last video clip, you can find yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time. And if you're going somewhere where you know there's shallows, you definitely want to try and make sure that you go around high tide. Another thing you want to try and plan in your boating day to not get rushed is your tasks. If you're pulling into a port and you know there are certain things you have to do, as you pull into that port, probably best to start doing those things before you arrive at that port. Because once you're already in the port, if you're trying to put fenders out, trying to put sails away, or get things organized, is probably already too late. And again, you're going to find yourself rushing while you're there, and mistakes are going to be made. And nobody knows more about rushing than the old fishermen. These guys have to be the first out to their spot every single time. So much so, they'll drive a little carelessly sometimes to get out there, and sometimes they won't even really check the fishing area to make sure it's safe for them to even be there. But the party boaters in the same boat. These guys will rush to get out to the sandbar and have a good time, and sometimes that doesn't always pay off as well. And who can forget the old commercial mariners? That's right, the pros. Most of the time, as we've talked about before, most people don't think about them making mistakes, but the reality is the pros are human, they make mistakes as well. Just typically when they make mistakes, things get elevated a little more. But a lot of their mistakes are caused by the same thing. Maybe they're rushing to get out there on the water to make that money and weren't quite paying attention to how the ramp looked. Thanks for watching, crew. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit us up on Facebook or Instagram and let us know, and you might see your stories over here. Just like Rhett Craig Nelson, Dennis Unitas, Dino320, Christy C, Callie Yeager, Bumper, Kyle Howie, Trey F, and Patrick McSweeney did this week. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.